People uprooted by civil war in eastern Sri Lanka are finally going home, even as thousands flee new fighting in the north. Some of those displaced 2 years ago are visiting their former villages to see for themselves whether it is safe to return. The United Nations and humanitarian groups are working to make sure resettlement is voluntary, safe, and beneficial. Over 200,000 Sri Lankans have abandoned their homes since August as government troops close in on the last territory controlled by the Tamil Tigers. Relief agencies are scrambling to provide food and shelter. Batticaloa, in the east, saw a similar exodus in 2006 when the army attacked tiger-held areas. 15,000 people are still homeless. Half live in camps. In the former battle zone, mines have now been cleared. The government, now in control, wants most of the displaced to go back to their villages. Jens Hesseman heads the UN Refugee Agency's office in Batticaloa.
We facilitate that displaced can go back to their home areas for a day, have a look what the conditions are, see their houses, see the security situation, and then they come back the same day and they can tell the others, and then they can take a well-informed and free choice about return or not.
Outside a wrecked schoolhouse, officials meet the group to answer questions. Staff from the UN Refugee Agency observe the discussion. The visitors are wary. Selvarasa Amodani, a teacher, worries that the soldiers might punish people suspected of supporting the rebels. She asks what protection her family will have. The local commander tells the refugees that they will be safe and says that they can come to him if they have any problems. Selvarasa seems slightly reassured.
As a mother, my greatest concern is for my children's safety, but I have decided to move back.
We always make sure that it's 50% man, woman participating to have a look at the return areas, because they often look at the issues very differently from man and woman, because there are different needs.
Looters stripped the doors from Selvarasa's house, but it still has a roof. Some of her neighbors are not so fortunate. They will have to move into temporary housing while they rebuild. The refugee agency will provide shelters and household items. Other agencies have longer-term plans to help restore services and livelihoods. The UN continues to listen to the concerns of displaced people who haven't gone home. This camp, on a beach outside Batticaloa town, is gradually shrinking as residents move out. In their work with the displaced, UN agencies are making an effort to include women and address their particular concerns.
We have a camp management system in place for these camp management committees with participation of women. So there's in each camp management committee, which is often comprised of displaced themselves, we make sure that there's both men and women represented, so that the concerns, especially of pregnant mothers or of women, the privacy they need sometimes, is well respected.
The displaced who cannot go home pose a special challenge. The 500 residents of this camp came from an area overlooking a naval base. The government will not let them return for security reasons. By day, the shelters are very hot, and after dark, people are afraid to go out as there is no electricity. But no one is leaving.
They want us to resettle in a new place, but we will stay here until we can go back to our hometown. I have no idea how long that will take.
Humanitarian agencies are striving to help people get out of the camps and back on their lands, where they will no longer have to depend on assistance. But the displacement problem is not likely to be solved completely until peace comes to Sri Lanka. This report was prepared for UN Television by William A. Ryan and Mark Westhoff.